of ONIC might struggle a little
Alright
bit.
guys, tonton dan
However,
buat
it's the
perlawanan
using
pertama
of ONIC with CFU.
ONIC
Really great
Indonesia
lead,
menentang
respect.
CFU Gaming.
I
Kalau
will
kita
be
saksikan
enjoying
perlawanan
this.
pertama di
Give
grup
you
E
nicer,
di
you
Lane
guys
of
have
God.
more time to expound.
Sorry guys, lambat sikit guys.
All right, so now our second best of the
Yes,
three
stream
is
okay.
about to kick
Jadi gol
off
apa?
here.
9 gol.
ID facing off against CFU, and you heard it 2 times. Hopefully the mics picked them up because that battle cry is actually kind of sick. We got to ask him about that.
It's closer to us, man. I would be actually really impressed with the audio engineering if that doesn't come through. Again, it's so loud for us here,
sorry,
in the studio, but again,
aku tak tengok lagi stream Malaysia, nanti kita tengok. Kalau stream dia okey kat sana, kalau tak okey, aku prefer ni.
The mid-season cup
Nanti kita
2025 here at the Esports World Cup live in
Sebab tak suka
Riyadh.
quality dia, guys.
CFU will be battling against ONIC from the blue side as ONIC will attack from the red. It's going to be a purple start.
Wah, sokong mana? Sokong mana? Ai, sokong lokal lah guys.
Right, because again,
Makan mah belum tu kan.
we're seeing nowadays.
Yishun Shin, Fredrin, Kimi,
is that Yishun Shin
Wang Wang.
gets a couple levels ahead of their opponents.
whoa,
Lunok kan. Bosan menggunakan flicker. Oh, first blood dia dapat kan. Play OP.
Keyboy will take a brunt of the damage, but
Jangan-jangan kita tengok San mati awal ni.
Man, early start for CFU.
Very early start, and Boxy even committing the flicker.
Draft ni baru lah,
Really
kejap.
nicely done. Singh also using his
Lunok, goal.
early on against Severo. He's trying to get an early lead. Severo just needs to survive.
Yeah, you know, going back to that as well, the YSS, I feel like in the main part is you always have that added benefit of vision, but then when you come to his rotation and his actual jungle speed,
Katanya
you
aku
should have
kan.
an easy time
kuat.
against detect if you're on the Fredgen, right?
Dua-dua
for
ada
the time
damage
being, as
dia
long as he
baik
doesn't
ke.
get CC to the ground, right? If he gets hit by the energy,
Tak tahu lah
eruption,
guys. Game ni
that's
saya
when we
tak tahu.
start to have problems. As long as he maintains his
CFU ni
traceless,
underrated bah.
it's all good, all
Underrated
fun and
je.
games. But now with the changes to the jungle,
tak tahulah,
it
guys.
takes a little bit longer.
Boleh lah
these
kata
days for these
underrated.
camps
Tapi
to
dekat
respawn.
regional
There's
tak
been a
underrated
dead
juga.
air after the clear, and that's where mid suddenly becomes a huge priority. And CFU, they're ready for this, right? They've got detective in position. Hopefully, Sans opens up the map, sees it, and now Keyboy getting attacked.
Okay, Keyboy gonna go ahead and slide on out. He's fine. The rest of the team's gonna respond though. Kyrie will take a couple shots off, but again, that's a Fredrin. The turtle's up though, so this is where we get to
Turtle
see
pertama telah pun
how they
dimulakan
play this out.
oleh
If you get a
CFU
position,
Gaming.
You expect the Fredrin to have control of this. It's CFU that's actually gonna zone out.
CFU tebal-tebal balai. Ya, nampaknya tiada konten dilakukan oleh tim ONIC. San digasak oleh Kimi kat sini.
Pretty low. Look how aggressive
Berubah duduk.
Opie and Detective and everyone else is being. They're gonna force him off the purple buff. They
Oh.
go in. Keyboy falls. They get
Keyboy down.
another
Kyrie
double
down.
for
Nampaknya game
Wild.
pertama.
CFU knows the enemy and they'll go ahead and duke
Early
it on
game yang
out.
kurang
This
baik
is
daripada
jungle.
ONIC.
A triple already for Wadu.
Beautiful
Waduh.
play from CFU. You can just see the hours of scrimmage time that both CFU and ONIC ID have given to each other, and CFU recognize, hey, we've got to lead, we must press the advantage. Severo might find a solo kill.
Ui, lasi tu.
It just goes into the air, seeing out of range.
Oh, Severo, he's
Mati Severo.
just punished for that.
Yelah, dia tak bazi
I guess
flicker
he
dia
thought
juga.
he could pick up the kill, but doesn't have enough damage yet.
He should have been able to pick up the kill. It's just that last darkening shot didn't connect because Zing was just out of range. I think that Severo might have had to commit a flicker, but that would have felt so bad. Either way, he's still missing out on that solo kill. Kinda sucks. CFU now 5-0 against ONIC ID. This is going
Tersiduk je ni.
phenomenally for CFU Gaming.
Hey man, if it had anything to do with the war cry we heard earlier on, that might be the buff here for them in game 1. Already 2.4k ahead. And with this kind of lead, this is gonna set
3 minit
things up
guys.
really well into even the next turtle here. So ONIC, they're gonna have to find themselves building up, you know, from this deficit early on.
Tapi hero vision dia banyak juga ni guys.
Might have to be
Oi, tak kena ulti dia. Oh, pick off.
flicker and aggressive.
Elect kat
play
mana
once again.
guys? Kyrie.
Kyrie as Kyrie falls. CFU
Kubar.
once more. They're gonna just jump in. They know the timings too. They'll take the purple buff.
Amazing play. Really great from Boxy's side. He sees the traceless, the turtle
Boxy juga guys. Memang suka hero pick off ni.
It misses Boxy, flickers into yoink him
Blue buff
and pull
kena
him
rembat
out of
2
position,
kali.
knowing that
Jungle
he's got
tak hidup ni,
literally
Keyboy.
no battle spells to save him because
ONIC
he
belum
is the
panas je
jungler.
ke?
He has to take retribution.
FPS
And
menang
with
dia, Pak.
traceless on cooldown, it guarantees the kill with CFU Gaming corralling around that mid lane. It's just
Lapar,
it's
guys.
working out
Nak ngapa,
perfectly,
eh?
right? Every fight. Wait, hold on.
Oh, Boxy could be in trouble
Oh,
this
Boxy.
time right now. Enough
Ditumbangkan oleh
damage.
Lutfi.
ONIC will get on the board. They might be in position to go ahead and secure themselves to an objective. They desperately need this from the game getting too out of hand. Swadu up in the front side. They're going to spot that out. He flickers forward with it onward and goes forward.
Hey, Lutfi dan Keyboy ditumbangkan, tiada lagi frontliner untuk ONIC ID. Sans flicker untuk melarikan diri, turn around cuba dilakukan kat sini untuk mendapatkan kill. Savero menggunakan flicker, ada ultimate pada Savero untuk melarikan diri lagi.
Oh my goodness, Wadu is so good on these Earth Shatter flickers. He is a dangerous man when he has flicker in hand. Making sure that Lutfi basically was non-existent during that fight. He's supposed to be the one to buy but it gets chain CC to the ground. Right now, the coordination from CFU Gaming is immaculate.
Oh, again, this is a tough spot to be in for ONIC and Tunisia. It looks like sometimes, you know, they're able to go ahead and convert something, but then that was just one setup, one kill that they were able to get. They don't really have that many tools to go for a pick-off in comparison to what CFU has.
That's completely true, right? Again, you're expecting Keyboy to kind of get into that
Myanmar ada hantar
However,
team
in
tu
terms
guys.
of like raw damage, it really boils down to Kyrie, right? He's going to be the early game damage for now. Sans, yes, he can do some damage, but he's not like overwhelming like a Farsa or in this case the Kimmy. It's just not comparable. Even Savero to a certain degree, he's got a bit of damage, but he really needs his items. And in terms of tempo, CFU Gaming, because of that initial purple buff steal, they know exactly where Kyrie is going to be 90% of the time, and they're utilizing that information to make sure that ONIC ID will have an opportunity to actually attack. See, even making sure that they lane swap to ensure, hey, they're going to be playing for that Lunox now. Wadu, if you can clear these lanes, that's perfect, because we're going to get T1 down bot side.
Ini guys kan, boleh dulu di-consider CFU menang early ni guys. Mid game ni boleh dikatakan dia menang juga. Sebab apa? Sebab Kyrie tak dapat nak farm, Freddy yang jadi awal. Freddy ni supposedly jadi dekat mid to late. Tapi sekarang ni dia yang jadi kan. Sebab rusuhan-rusuhan yang dibagi oleh CFU, tekanan yang dibagi. Jadi berat untuk Kyrie menggendong guys. Jadi laning semua jadi susah. Oh, pick off bersama flicker, Lutfi gunakan flicker. Crossbow of tank dah digunakan oleh 1-1. Restart Keyboy, ditumbangkan Savero pula. Savero down, unstoppable. Ni MVP ni boleh bagi Wadu kan.
Dang, man, CFU Gaming. They're not here to mess around. They want to make sure that they are sweeping the floor with ONIC ID. Every play they have made so far is so good. They initiate immediately, baiting out the last couple of ultimates from the side of ONIC. Most importantly, Sans one. The Fury of the Phoenix is such a powerful tool when you engage, but it's also a great disengage tool. However, at the end of it, Zing was able to get into that crossbow of tank form to apply massive amounts of damage to ONIC ID, especially pre-8 minutes. So at this point, with a 6.8k lead about to turn into a 7k lead, CFU Gaming just need one more fight and one more tower to break into the 10k bracket.
Belum masuk mid lagi, ni baru early dah. Tidur Asan tadi.
But a phenomenal one at that, and Wadu has been locked in the entire game. Every single time he goes for that setup with the, if his flicker's available or not.
Tapi jungle dia tak adalah beza banyak. Maknanya kan, bila lepas dia kena rusuh tu, dia kebanyakannya dia kena punish kat jungle. Jadi Kyrie ni tak dapat nak bergerak bebas, curi farm, curi resource. Fred bukan farmer kan. Team dia jadi hidup rotasi-rotasi Fred ni. Tekanan bagi.
Yep, CFU Gaming understand if we don't close out this game, the scaling from the side of ONIC ID is going to be
Hello boss, next week on semula. Apa itu next week?
With the Yi Shin on top of having the Lunox side by side. For now, if we have to break it down, I think that CFU Gaming, once they hit that 10k mark, it's going to be good. But the wave clear might be a little bit of an issue, right? CFU Gaming cannot start falling behind, and they can't let the game extend super late. The pickoff is going to begin again using tempo. Look at this.
Wow, traction pulse into Tsunami Slam. Able to find one. Keyboy will jump in, but it's just way too much damage.
Kena panik-panik boy. ONIC triple. Wants to kill untuk Wadu. 10,000 guys lagi. Bapak, lot spawn.
They're all up and alive and healthy. They'll make their way to the Lord.
Yeah, CFU Gaming making sure that every interaction with ONIC is a winning interaction. That's how this composition must progress forward. And ONIC just starved out a lot of their resources. Divide and conquer, says CFU, as they take this Lord while breaking the holy shielding.
Great juggling happening here from CFU. Very impressive once again. Start off to this best of 3 series. I think even ONIC is kind of just left wondering what's going on here. They don't, even if they try to stay under the turrets, they're forced to fight anyway. And that's why that Kalea from Boxy is so good. And this might be, again, the effect of Boxy going back into the roam role, allowing them to have that decision making on their side. And what a great showcase it's been so far.
I think we really just, unfortunately, ONIC ID just doesn't have much of an answer to the early game. They just needed to not interact, but CFU Gaming said no, force them into their position, force them into a position where they have to interact with them all the time. They can't run away from these fights, and neither can they disengage. So therefore, ONIC ID...
Pick off lagi, wah Boxy punya pick off kan. Memang jumpa je kan, Luffy tak bagi main baik game ni.
Boxy finally goes down, but Kyrie quite low, could be in trouble.
12,000 guys, besar sangat lah game ni.
Mid turret already down, but they won't get more.
Ni
CFU with a
consider
12,000 gold
80% dah guys CFU pegang game ni. Berapa tu GPM diorang ni?
I mean, the breathing room for ONIC ID is just running out. They're losing space. Wadu, keep your eyes on him. He's got flicker.
Oh, Wadu. Brilliance is going to be used. They're just trying to clear out the waves here as they do.
Alright, respect damage.
Despite
Tak
everything
ingin
else,
mengambil lebih daripada CFU.
That's a checkmate angle right
Disiplin yang
now
baik.
achieved by CFU Gaming. 12.3k, the biggest lead we've seen so far here at MSC 25. As we can see, even for ONIC Indonesia, how do they find an angle, right? Every single attack they have, there is some form of counterplay. Seeing vulnerable with the crossbow tang, not to mention that she also has an inbuilt purify, making it more effective against the raw CC coming out from the side of Indonesia.
Tu, 1-1 tu beza dengan Lunok tu 3,000. Room tak payah cakap lah guys. Mesh, lama. Mesh gap guys, kau tengok guys. Mesh berapa ribu tu guys. Bapak banyak. God light. So Kimi clean spray, triple kill. GG guys. Rata. Tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, game yang pertama dimenangkan oleh CFU Gaming.
They're going to be looking at that. It's like,
okay,
we deserve to lose that one.
Jangan lupa like, komen, share bagi pendapat korang pasal game pertama. Dan yang paling penting, jangan lupa subscribe guys. Let's go for our next game.
I want to see how they're going to replicate this in game 2.